Yo, Misplaced Monk here. And it is official. The Marvels was a financial flop, pulling in only about $47 million domestically. It reportedly cost about $3 million to make and promote this movie. Not going to lie, I saw this coming like a mile away. This movie was dead on arrival. There's no other way to say it. Not because of the Captain Marvel character, but because of the political and social climate surrounding her brand in the MCU. And this goes back to the first Captain Marvel movie. I've been a fan of Carol since 1998, back when she was Miss Marvel and overcoming an alcohol dependency. Like, that's how I was introduced to her. So when Nick Fury paged her during the post-credit scenes of Infinity War, I was very interested to see what the MCU was going to do with this character. But much like the Star Wars franchise as of late, the promotion was focused on her being female, which wouldn't have been bad if it hadn't been done before. As a 90s kid, a strong female hero was very commonplace. You have the iconic Ripley. You have Xena, the Princess Warrior. You have Harriet Tubman, the Demon Slayer, which is a comic book that just came out in 2023. But I just wanted to include that because it's a dope comic and you should read it. What made these characters special was that no one cared that they were female heroes. To us, they were heroes who happened to be female. Despite that, I liked Carol. I liked Captain Marvel. I liked Miss Marvel of the comic books. So I went and saw the movie because I wanted to support one of my favorite characters. Although it was a financial success, raking in $1.13 billion, some would argue that the reason why the movie did so well is because it was sandwiched in between Infinity War and Endgame, which I can't dispute. Like I said, I'm a fan of Captain Marvel, but I can't dispute the fact that her movie came out right in the smack dab middle. So that gave it that extra clout. But I felt like the success of the movie was overshadowed by the heavy criticisms that the lead star received, which is Brie Larson. Whether it being her stiff and robotic performance in the first Captain Marvel movie, whether it be her awkward interviews alongside other MCU cast members, or whether it be her thoughts on who or who shouldn't criticize the movie A Wrinkle in Time, and of course the well-memed interview of her answering the questions most searched about her. It seemed for a time that everybody hated Brie Larson. And because she was being pushed as the new face of the MCU, it seemed as though that same hatred, that same dislike was transferred over to the Captain Marvel character. The comic book character of Carol Danvers, the comic book character of Captain Marvel, once being recognized as a character that overcame many hardships, such as losing her powers, losing her memories, overcoming addiction. So it was interesting for me to start reading headlines or hearing people's comments saying that Captain Marvel is nothing more than an overpowered Mary Sue, which is completely untrue. For me, like I said, the writing was on the wall. No one wanted to see a second movie, which brings me back to the Marvels. I stand by my review. I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. But unfortunately, due to the political and social fallout surrounding the first movie, like, no one cared. No one cared enough to come out and see the movie. Like, no one cared enough to even give it a shot. And the numbers reflect that fact. This was indeed the lowest Marvel Comic Universe opening weekend of all time. And that's a record that will always be there. It makes me sad for the character itself, the character of Captain Marvel. Because if you are familiar with her story, if you read her comics, you'll see that she's such a complex character. And for that to be turned into what's happening now in the cinematic universe, it's just sad. Perception is reality. None of this is real.